Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
Yes, ahoy, matey.
Love. Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day Fiancé.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love.
It's reality, yes, let's love. Poodle?
What? What?
How would you describe to someone who's never seen a wedding dress before or just a dress in general, how would you describe Rebekah's wedding dress?
When you want to go out to the club and get fucked in the bathroom, but you also want to get married in the courthouse.
That is so accurate because we were waiting for a cab at the hotel this morning at like 4 a.m. in Vegas when all the clubs got out, and there was a group of girls wearing all these type of dresses, drunk as a club. One threw up in a trash bin because they had been dancing in a club, wanting to get fucked in a club bathroom.
I would say if you're dressing for the club, but on the off chance you meet someone you want to get married that night, this is what you wear. The slit was so high, and you could almost see her Union Jack.
And it was so to the side. You could almost, I don't know, when you say Union Jack, if you mean her the front brigade or the squad bringing up the rear.
I think it was whatever side hit the wind first.
Whichever way the flag waved.
It was the slit. I was taken aback. I did not like the front of the dress at all either.
It was all of it.
Fit her well.
No. It did not fit her at all. There was no fit to it.
She's an attractive woman, and her body is nice, and I don't know what she's trying to do with this dress.
It didn't, no supporting. It looked like just a slutty 90.
It was bad. It's
one of the worst
for the books.
One of the worst.
But that slit, y'all, it just kept going and going and going.
Also, the suit did not fit him at all.
I agree. He looked terrible too.
He looked big and boxy.
Was he wearing he wasn't wearing a suit. It was this kind of like jacket with slacks that neither one of them looked like they were made in the same decade.
No. And look,
it was bad.
I understand. I'm sorry. In this day and age, you can find cute wedding dresses and you can find cute wedding suits or jackets or whatever on a budget that still look nice on you.
What I don't understand is why production lets them get by with things like this. In the US version of this, I think one of the reasons this is preempted is production at the last minute goes, we saw the dresses they picked out. We got to change this because this does not look good.
Yeah, I don't think they do that.
And we've had those substitutions last minute for dresses. Remember, Danielle didn't wear the dress she picked out.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So think about it, y'all. That's the dress production probably got for Danielle.
Yeah. 90 Day UK, I don't think has the same budget as 90 Day Fiancé. It's different production.
I think it's a different production goal, a different aesthetic and storytelling goal. And I'm going to say now, I don't agree with it this season. I know it's a brave stance that I'm making.
How brave.
I'm out there on the vanguard.
This Y'all, I don't mean to be
We kind of call him like we see him.
yeah, I don't mean to be cruel, but I don't know what's more offensive, this dress or Tionne's reaction. I literally had to sit and I went, that's seeing Tionne's reaction, I went, that's terrible, egregious. Nothing could be worse. Oh God, that dress.
Yeah.
I'm on the
I
fence.
think the only thing worse is their fight when he basically screamed at her and at any minute in a drunken rage. And that's when I was like, "Boy, you're so pretty. I just wish you had never spoken."
So good. I'm glad that didn't turn you on.
No,
Good.
no, he's an
Poodle,
asshole.
that is improvement.
I know. I'm trying.
See, I just don't know I felt like they were the most fraudacity of the episode.
Well, also, I feel like they were done with it. I don't know how long they're in the moment after they were married, but it felt like they had no emotional
It is.
connection to it when they were talking about
You
it.
know what? Let's just talk about Rebekah and Cristian first, since we're
Yeah.
talking about them. Real quick, we want to
The
remind
episode is called You Are
yeah,
So Cheap, season 2, episode 12.
you are so cheap. Things I yell to Poodle as his business partner on the daily.
All the
All
time.
the
And
time.
I'm just trying to get better margins for us.
This is the last episode of 90 Day UK, y'all. We are having to tell all. We don't know if it's going to, we are assuming it's following up next week. It did not say at the end of this
It,
episode next
it
week.
said this fall. I
So we don't know when we're getting it, but it is coming. We will watch it. We will cover it. So we'll let you know. Also, we're gonna surprise because we didn't talk about on Toe. Poodle's gonna be doing what are you gonna be doing this episode, Poodle?
a BB corner, all BB.
Yeah, he's gonna be
Raw, unadulterated BB content.
He's going to be talking about Big Brother this episode. We're going to do it this corner. Also, we will remind you our interview with Petey Silvera comes out tomorrow on the public feed, as well as
the last resort sessions,
the podcast.
and the last resort. She's one of the therapists on that show.
Loved it. Great. Check it out. We love doing our collab last week with Ace and Caitlin. Y'all love that. Our Bi Curious episode of Sister Wives that normally is not on the public feed, but we did it because we want to share
as a collab. Yeah,
it was great. I had a good time. If you want to see the video of that, he's handsome. She's pretty too, but he's handsome. You can watch that on the $15 tier of Patreon.
We had a really good time. A lot of the sissies who are also trash bags, members of their
that's what they're called,
Patreon,
trash bags, right?
Trash bags.
Yeah. I just want to clarify.
Trash sissies. No, I would call them to their face. Trash bags.
Wow.
One woman in the sissy squad said, I've been listening to the podcast a long time, but I've never actually watched the shows. Now I feel like a real garbage person. And I just responded, honey, you were always garbage. Now you're just living your authentic garbage life. Welcome. Welcome to authenticity.
Welcome to September fully loaded.
I know.
Plathville, be sure to check out. Did you see? We're going to talk. Did you see the picture of Ethan Plath working on that car?
Oh, yes. And his hot friend. Yeah.
Ethan Plath, he's done it for you before. He's never done it for me before, but he looked hot.
He's done it for me before. Yeah.
You arguably say, and I think you're right, he fucks the best.
Out of all of them. Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where are we?
Golden Bachelor.
Hey.
That's the new show.
Hey.
We're covering the Golden Bachelor on ABC. He's 71, looking for love, and only has probably 20 to 25 years of his life as he's lucky.
and only
if he's lucky.
An unlimited supply of Viagra pills.
Yes. Sponsored by Viagra.
If they don't have Viagra sponsoring this show, they did it wrong.
I know.
They've done it wrong. We're excited for that. Y'all are excited for that. So
got some good collabs lined up with some Bachelor pods and some other reality TV pods we haven't talked to yet. So we're excited.
Love is Blind is
to dip our wicks.
Love is Blind is coming up too. We're excited about that. We've at the end of the season, we've got Some collabs coming up with that. We've already talked to Two
Two
Black.
Black Girls, One Rose,
We're gonna be doing something with
and
them.
Bad TV with Patrick and
Dylan.
Dylan.
I think we're gonna. I'm scared for that one because I think we're doing in person at their studio, and
We are.
well. First of all,
I'm.
I'm gonna have to drive because they're gonna get you drunk.
I hope they don't roofie me and take advantage of me.
Wow.
Boys, I promise you, I'm not. Don't put something in my drink. I'm not responsible for the way I act. Something's come over me.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway,
I'll
y'all,
just bring some roofies for myself.
so much content. The Bachelor, I believe, airs on September 28th. So we don't get screeners for that show yet. We'd like
Yeah.
to. So we'll be watching it
Almost
with
no
you.
one does.
Yeah, I don't think most people do. So we'll be watching with you. So that'll be coming out the probably last week, first week of October, because we need more to do. Because
Yeah.
it's too late because you've already branded it. What are we calling October, Poodle?
We had
I don't like this.
September was fully loaded. I got this from seeing strangely a pizza ad. And it said full pizza for Red Baron, fully loaded and hand tossed. So y'all, October is you're gonna get hand tossed by us.
I do not like this.
Toss, 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 toss. We're gonna be fisting you,
Wow,
tossing
just
you around.
pound that dough, just pop, 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 pop.
Exactly.
Wow.
Gonna get hand tossed. And we love you because we're using our hands.
That's it. That's it, y'all. That's what we're doing for you. So
Oh, I don't think any of them ever wanted to get fucked by a gay guy.
no. Also, this is a tease just because I don't think we're allowed to talk about it yet. So, but if you aren't following us on TikTok, social media, I would say that probably sometime next week you're probably going to want to do that because we're going to an event that you might want to follow our social media about the mid next week.
I'm glad you said that because I was still clueless about it what it was until you said it. And then I went, oh, yeah.
You are the worst marketer promoter.
I still don't know what you're talking about half the time. I don't think you described them well.
No, I don't tell people what it is. You can't hold anything back.
No.
Let's do this. Okay. Let's talk about David. And I'm apparently.
No, you were talking. We wanted to talk about Rebekah and Cristian.
Rebekah and Cristian. Let's talk. Okay. So you didn't feel like a lot of this was fraudacity to you? It did to me. Oh, okay.
No, it did feel that way to me. It's just what I did not like is him screaming at her and her looking down like an abused wife.
I guess I just felt it was
not. Yeah,
it felt fake fight to me.
He's
but
like
I agree.
But he's like a mean drunk.
If it's real, then he is a mean drunk. But it just felt fake. It just felt so like they took scenes out of a Lifetime movie. But before that, let's talk about.
I don't think they had any fucking problems.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
How did you feel about him laying in bed at that tank top with his nipple out?
Okay. All I could do is stare at that nipple. It was basically going, "Hey, boy.
Hey,
you want to come over here? You want to put your mouth on me?
Mangia, you want to come and mangiare a my nipple? Come and get my nipple."
I assumed that's Italian and not Spanish.
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Come and eat my nipple. I loved it.
It was staring at me and just going, I'm forbidden.
Y'all, it's a nice sized nipple. I don't like small Chris Pratt nipples. I don't.
He is built like a brick shit house.
Ooh.
When he was doing laundry and his arms.
Oh,
with
a nice cock.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah.
He's just an asshole. It's a shame.
Which kind of sounds like somebody you would have dated.
When he's sober, he's kind of like, he was trying to make her laugh. She's like, because her father's not coming to the wedding, which is kind of overlooked, and she doesn't really talk about it. Either like she doesn't even say why her father's not coming.
Okay. Yeah, maybe they didn't agree to be on camera. You're so right. I think they had nothing to
Yep.
film with these people. And if you think about Rebekah, we met one of her friends. We don't know anybody else in her life. At their wedding, we didn't know who any of these people
We don't
were.
even know the names of her dog and cat.
She has a dog and cat.
She has a dog. You didn't see the
Oh,
dog?
yes,
The
she
dog's
does. We
like,
don't even know
yeah,
the name of the
and
dog.
a cat.
We know everything about Rebekah, Danielle and Johan's dog pissing on her, Gizmo.
Gizmo.
Which is the same dog that my Aunt Peggy used to. Before she had Sophie the Schnauzer that ate her fake lip, she had Gizmo, who was that type of dog, that pug or what. I mean,
Yeah.
his real name was What was it? It was, I used to know it. Literally, this was the name Peggy would call the dog. And she'd call it. She'd go outside, she'd say, Gizmus, Plaximus, Rodendi, Padawaki, or something, puppy. That was the name of the dog. And she would call out to it all the time. What was it? Gizmus, Maximus, Rodendi, Plata. No one cares. I'm saying
Wait,
it and I realize
how can you remember that,
Gizmus,
but you
Maximus.
can't
Yeah, that's it. Gizmus,
remember
Maximus, Rodendi, Platypus, Padawaski, puppy.
but you can't remember Nicole Kidman's name?
Because here they are.
Because heartbreak feels good in a place
like
like
this.
this.
That makes me emotional every time.
Every
Every time.
Yes, people laugh at it, but she carries it off.
People
Because heartbreak does feel good in a place like the movie theater.
I love LA because here in LA, people watch it. And then if I'm in it, and then sometimes when she says they are, everybody will yell out, they are. And then we all clap.
Yeah.
Because there's gay guys who love Nicole
love
Kidman.
going to the movies.
I do too.
It will never replace staying home will never replace going to the movies for me.
Agreed. When people say we don't go to the movie anymore, we've got this home theater, and I'm like, you're missing out.
It's the experience of sitting in the dark with strangers.
This is all I'm going to let you say. I thought you were going to talk about the wonderful energy of it.
And then,
like, why do you want to see?
Looking around, making eyes, see who's then eyeing the exit and saying after this scene is over, winking.
Read the room. You're like that. We went to so when I did go to Vegas, it was in the show, the drag race shows in the Flamingo Hotel. I mentioned that before, not a sponsor, but I went to pee afterwards. And I'm sitting there peeing at a stall, and there weren't divisions between the stall. So there's this queen just like, I don't know what the terms for it, but just looking at my dick while I'm peeing. I don't care. And so I was like, sure, you get yours. But then I finished
Didn't you
peeing.
say no? Don't look at me.
No, I mean, I kind of just scooted up to the turn. I'm like, whatever. But he's looking at this is Las Vegas. And I wanted to pull him aside, but I think he thought I was trying to.
Queen, you can't look at people's dicks.
That's what I did. I want to pull, and I wanted to say, are you new here? This is not safe for you. You're going to get the shit beat out of you.
You're not in Puerto Vallarta, honey.
This is not a gay hotel. People go to the Flamingo, they see the drag show, and then they disperse and go back to the Cosmopolitan where they belong.
It's true. Vegas is not, even though you were there during Gay Pride, it is not a gay-friendly city.
It is not a gay friendly. We need to make a resort called Las Vegas. A hotel ran by gay people. You know somebody in the hotel business. Make it happen.
I do. I think that's the Trixie Motel.
But there's not gambling there.
That's true. One of the funniest things on the Salt Lake City when they're going to stay at the Trixie Motel, did
they do this on this season?
Yeah, Mary Cosby calls and goes, "Do you have Dom Perignon?" And they're like, some queen goes, I don't know. What kind of you got to eat there? Well, there's a pizza, and Mary's face.
I haven't seen it. Is it Heather Gay, the one that set it up?
Meredith, I believe.
Oh, Marta.
Maybe it's Lisa. Maybe it is. I can't remember. And I think it's Meredith who sets it up.
It's cute. I've seen it on the outside. It's really cute.
Yeah, I want to go, but I don't love motels that much.
But you probably could hook up with other guys in this one.
Fair.
It's kind of actually.
I'll change my opinion.
I mean, Palm Springs, it's not like Palm Springs has a strip, but it's kind of actually in a neighborhood.
To me, it feels very couple. It feels like a couple's hotel. You kind of go and swing with other couples.
I don't need to know this. I don't need to know this. So, okay, so even he does even make like, he's like, "Well, my dad's not coming." She's like, "Your dad's dead." And he's like, "I know."
And
And
he wouldn't come anyway. And he is definitely trying to take her mind off of it. I think a sober Christian is very different than a drunk Christian who has just had it.
either it's really fake or he's a monster.
Yeah.
Either one's not great. So yeah. So then
He does say later on, she's made a 180-degree change. And I was like, is this someone who finally got this phrase right?
on 90 Day Fiance, yes,
Yes.
because
He
um
didn't make a 360.
and he just basically says, "Rebecca's been a nightmare and so difficult to live with." And I went, "What the fuck was the problem? This was so out of the blue." And again, Mary Payne tried to tell me when I talked about this. We were talking when I talked to her last week on Pink Shade. She said, she said it like this. She said, "You just have to get used to it. They jump forward on this show. They move. They just move. That's the way it works." And I went, "Okay, I know it's the way it works, but it feels like the first season had jumping points and moved, but this feels like the show takes or the people's story takes a
Yeah.
180."
I feel like Mary Payne would be like with someone in World War One, like a nurse, and the guy's like, "Wait, did you cut my leg off, honey? We had to cut your leg off. This is the thing here in World War One. We need to move on. This is the reality.
That
I got to see the next person.
tell
That's
me
how.
you're Mary
That's
Payne without
that,
telling me you're
that's
Mary
kind of how
Payne.
she. That's kind of how she moves through the world. She's like, we need to move on.
You
Your
don't.
leg's gone, honey. Your leg's gone, honey. You'll get over it. We're gonna slap you up. You're gonna go home. You're gonna go home. You're gonna go home see your wife.
It's gonna be better for you. You're gonna be
It's
like
better for you. I got other patients.
Ingrid, Nurse Ingrid.
We're not shading you. We're just saying Mary Payne has got a no nonsense way about the world.
Now we're just doing bits about other podcasters on our show.
We were always. It's never that far afield. So this is what's. I feel like this was fraudacity, and I felt like it was completely because he goes to the pub, which he calls the boozer, which I kind of enjoy.
I like that.
She doesn't know where he is.
Mhm.
He says, "I just want 5 minutes of peace," and all I can think of is it is shitty not to answer her.
It is.
And she even says, "Why can't you say I'll be back soon?"
Because again,
And
she doesn't seem like she's being unreasonable.
yeah, but it was her kind of shut down behavior that made me feel like either he's done this to her before. Again, maybe I'm reading too much into it. It just did not feel good because he came in like slurring his words.
I
Um,
just see. I guess I couldn't go there because even the drunk felt fake. Like he didn't even
yeah,
seem really drunk to me. It just her
but y'all,
her sitting there by herself saying, "I'm trying to get a hold of it." I don't know. Maybe I actually hope I'm right and you're wrong because
I
the reality is very sad.
I feel like she's not very when she's not in the moments, she's very disconnected from her feelings.
I agree. It seems like she's had
And
like a lot of trauma or
it's
something.
either that or a lot of this is being recreated and she's a bad actor.
I think it's that.
Yeah. So later
Also,
on,
can we just say too, it's very different, but like, boy, they need this tell all because like there was not like a sense of closure with Katie and Alejandro at all. They
no,
really just dropped that storyline. Other ones had it.
something's fishy there. I think they just don't want to talk about either the story, either they filmed their wedding and that was it, and um, but I don't know if we're gonna get Katie and Alejandro.
Yeah.
There was no footage.
No.
So he's getting dressed at Nan's, and we've never met her grandmother before. So we're gonna meet her on her wedding day,
Sure. She looked,
and
I'm sorry, I had to laugh with her just literally with contouring, with brown contouring on her face. She's just sitting there talking about so serious, sitting in the bed, Rebecca doing her makeup.
oh, you
She's
mean Rebekah, not Nan?
yeah, that would have been even better if Nan was just sitting there with contouring on her face.
Yeah, it's the makeup choices are interesting. So later on, they're at the courthouse and he tells the cameras to go away and something that feels extremely fake. Um
It does. It feels really fake.
and then um we already talked about her dress. Uh I wrote down
We talked
her
about it.
hair's kind of pretty.
Her makeup doesn't it's a little too dark. It's too
Yeah.
much. It looks
We
but it's
we
not
also
terrible.
didn't mention the black, which looks like behind her some type of black corset thing that was in on her as well.
I forgot about that, and I wanted to forget about that.
I kind of was shaken. I went,
Uh, why did you bring it up to me?
I don't know. It was like
I
hanging out the back of her
I
dress.
had blocked it out of my mind. The only thing that I thought, which makes me feel a little bad, makes me think they had no money for this. But then I
Hmm.
still go back and I'm like, but you can go to even Goodwill or maybe you can't in the UK and find like a simple, even like a cute little dress from Old Navy or well, I guess they don't
I
have. I
think
don't know.
I think these people are buying this stuff off the rack and they don't think they need to have anything fitted or altered. And it is fucked up that people believe this.
Well,
When
maybe they
your
can't.
dress on your wedding day should fit you like a fucking glove.
But even if you can't afford it, you can find clothes that do fit you better than
Yeah.
this.
But I would say find a cheaper gown and pay the money for the alteration. Pay
Even like
because
getting like bra cups or something to support her
mhm.
boobs because she's got beautiful breasts, but they're just kind of
Oh, there's that hanging
they're just
there.
hanging there in this night. God, it was terrible. He looked like he was a high school senior wearing his dad's suit.
It was bad. It was the whole thing about it, and then it didn't even feel like they were that happy to be doing
And
it.
he's talking about it. He's talking about the wedding. And then all of a sudden he's like, you know what? He's like, I decided to come here today. And then he's like, you know what? I can't. I'm walking. And then he's walking around like it
That's what
just
I'm saying.
felt fake,
That
fake,
fake
fake,
camera
fake.
shit.
The switching
They
back and forth.
they might be there was some Shane and Mert stuff this episode that we already going to talk about that is fake, but I think this was the fakest thing that we saw the whole time.
And ironically, as they got married and walked down the steps, I wrote, yeah, they're not going to make it.
Oh, really?
I don't think they're going to make it. I think they're going to be divorced
Christian
in like 5 years.
Rebekah.
Yeah.
I've said this before. 5 years is a good run. You you talk about 5 years of marriage as a failure. That's a good starter marriage.
Do the BB corner.
BB corner. Y'all. Big news. Huge. Izzy is gone. Izzy, who was
Oh.
the other Fields child, Cerie's kind of acolyte in the house, kind of the hatchet man who kind of went around like she had real power. Uh, the only one worse behaving like they've got actual power is Jared, who has none, and
Okay.
is also a terrible game player. Cerie's actual son. So Izzy Cameron nominated, we said Felicia and Izzy last time,
I'm
mostly
gonna
out of
look up a
spite.
picture so I know who you're talking about.
Yes, she's the flute playing lesbian. Um,
Oh, I
and
love a good
well,
lesbian.
the thing about Izzy is she was the one who knew who Jared and Cerie were mother and son. And instead of
Oh,
using that, she decided to be a star fucker because she was obsessed with Cerie. And
boy, her
her
Instagram kind
friendship,
of looks like that.
yeah, her friendship with Cerie blinded her, and she basically said, "If I win the veto, I'm not gonna take myself down because they might backdoor Cerie, and I want Cerie to win."
She's a handsome lesbian.
But I just said that's not the reason to. You don't come into the show to make friends. This is stupid. There's seven. I think all this is revisionist history. that as soon as she got voted out, then she basically says, "Oh yeah, I would have done it again the exact same way." Liar. This is ridiculous. Your gameplay has been awful. Also, you walk around like you are the one calling all the shots,
Mhm.
and she's not a good player. I will not mourn her. However, Suri is mourning her, and Suri basically just like is upset about it. And just know that the next competition, the wall comp, which is a big
The
deal,
wall
always
comp.
hard and endurance wise. They have to hold on to the wall, and they're kind of like
Oh, you would suck at that.
I would not do well at most of the physical comps. The puzzle challenges I would do very well.
I
Um,
disagree. I think you're like have awareness about your. I think you would do well. It's I don't know what they are, but I
I'm
think you could do somewhat with physical. I'm just saying you
I'm
couldn't.
fast.
I'm
I'm
just saying you
fast.
couldn't hold on.
No, no, no.
You couldn't hold on.
I'm not great with endurance.
Well, that's loaded
Sexually,
question. Yeah.
yes.
I think, yeah, holding on to things, you would just, you couldn't stop focusing that you had to hold on to something and it would piss you off.
I'd be angry. I would have also thrown most of the comps till week 4 or 5, which most people know to do, because I would have been a floater until week about 4 or 5.
Again, get on next season.
Yeah, and then anyway, so Jared winds up winning the HOH. So
Okay.
now Jared, of course, goes on. First of all, I'm gonna get Cameron out. I'm gonna. He actually does think AmeriCorey is the one who
AmeriCorey, red, white, and
exactly.
blue.
And so he nominates both Corey and America just out of retribution, because he blames them for somehow, and so does Izzy, blames Corey for blowing up her game. And they're acting like it's not gameplay, that they're all friends. And this is some of the worst gameplay. They haven't let Sari just waltz out with the money yet, but if she bungles this, it's going to be one of the worst moves in history. The show is getting more exciting, but I will say the gameplay is awful.
Mm,
But Jared's gonna put them up. I don't want either of them to go home, because they are the most interesting thing in the game right now for me, America and Corey.
okay.
I think Corey is probably the best player in the house besides Sari.
He looks like a
Um,
little Eagle Scout. I'm looking at
he
all their
is he
pictures.
is very young.
Oh, I
Yeah.
bet you're into that guy Cameron with all that hair.
No, he's a complete and utter asshole.
Oh, you wouldn't
Yeah,
have sex with
he's
him?
no, 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 I would not. Trust
Okay.
me.
So you think Corey and then oh wow, that one guy is gay, the one that was kicked off.
Who?
He saw
Heisem?
Heisem?
Yeah.
That's some gay face. He's cute
Oh,
though.
Heisem is kind of hot.
No, he's hot.
Heisem was
He's
a
got a big dick.
fucking was like questioning people like an SS officer. So, do you think you might want to stay in the house because you are the one I've chosen? It would
Um,
be nice if we could work together, but you need to go.
oh, Jared's cute.
He's an utter incompetent. Doesn't know what the fuck's going on, and
And
thinks he's an amazing
and that's
player.
the son. Yeah, okay.
That's Cerise's son.
Okay. And then oh God, Luke is gross.
He's
So
gone.
oh, I've
He
never
said
looked
the
at
N
these
word the first
pictures.
week.
Oh, he did.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, Matt, I knew who that was. That's the
That's
one.
the swimmer. Also a terrible player.
Oh,
Has no concept, because he thinks he's really in with Sari, but the moron thinks he's going to do anything better than 4th place, because he's going to have Felicia and Jared are going to go there before him. It's not going to help him to get in there, because he hasn't been really he can't justify playing the game well to the jury.
ah.
It's I don't think these people have really ever thought about jury.
What about Cole? She's pretty.
She has floated the fuck in this game. I think if she starts making moves, I don't think if she has it in her.
And
She's really funny though.
she's pretty. And Red's gone.
And fucking Bowie Jane, I don't know. She just is really fucking clueless all the time.
That Riley girl looks stupid. Is she?
She was gone like the first week.
Okay. Well, that yeah, she looks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wasn't
So I've never
it's
looked
not
at their
that she was
pictures.
dumb. No one really came in with a strategy. And I think the Cerie twist kind of fucked with everybody, and what I still am amazed at is there was no one, maybe it wasn't on camera, maybe it was on some of the feeds. I don't but a lot of people said they didn't see it. No one said, Cerie's been on Survivor a lot. Cerise, and also she was on this show that no one talks about called The Traitors, and she won it. But people know that she was on a show called The Traitors. And but everyone's kind of like, but she's great in the house.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Anyway, I respect Cerie a lot, but hell, she might have gotten me out week 4 if I mentioned it, but I would have gone out fighting to get that bitch out because she is dangerous. She's gonna walk away with the money.
I want you to win it because I want you to have the money. Actually, I really want you more just to get famous to help our show.
Of
But
course.
but so I don't know if I'd want you to win it. I kind of would want you to go like the penultimate episode, and then you get voted out, and we just like in a movie, we see the evil will come out, and you just rage at everyone on your way out
Oh,
while the
I would
flames, like that guy from Ghost. Like when the shadows come up and grab him and he goes, but no, he was screaming. Be like, no, no, no. You would be still raging like a pissed off dragon.
I would go out in a blaze of bitterness. I would go to that jury house just telling everything I knew. I would go, and you, and you. It would be like Drag Race reading room.
You would throw everyone out you would completely make the house implode. So that way, after you left, there was just carnage and it completely
Oh,
changed
yeah,
the
I would want
dynamic.
that. Oh, by the way, Izzy, he told me to say this about you. I would go with my mentor, who was Janelle, and I would play the worst poisoning of the well game. Yep. If I can't win, I'm going to make it that you all hate each other. And I can't wait to watch it.
Sounds a little bit like Shane's mom.
Uh, okay. Well, actually, let's talk about Tionne and David.
Oh,
I don't want to end
I
on. I don't
forgot.
want to end on them.
Oh yeah, because it's only 3.
Again, I've said this before. I don't know what the point of airing a story like this is. I don't think an American production company would air this.
Oh, are you kidding?
No, I'm
I
saying,
think they
but
would. Why
but
not?
there needs to be a comeuppance in a way that makes us humanize her at the end, and there's not.
I wonder, did they think there was, and is there actually just nothing redeemable about her?
I agree. I think that might be there, but I'm saying the way reality TV works here, only in the most craziest villains. She's the hero, remember? She's the one from the UK.
Mhm.
So you can have the villain be the one from the other country. That's happened before. We've rarely not we've had Lita.
But it's why at first it kind of made it interesting is that, you again, everybody they do this on 90 Day Fiance where we have people that you're going, oh, that person's taking advantage of the American. Then you see, actually, no, the American is the asshole.
Yeah.
I mean, Bilal and Shai, they're example of that. And so it
But
maybe
there's
they
I
wanted
will
to
s-
show that on
but
UK.
let me correct you about Bilal and Shida. There were moments where you could say, especially in the end of the season, they wrapped it up nicely.
Mm-hmm.
This production company chose not to do that. She's still a vile, insipid wretch of a person.
Yeah, the only thing, it almost reminds me of like well, no, it's different. What's different about it is most people like Ed and Rose. Rose was like, "Yeah, fuck this guy, I'm out." I just
Yeah.
keep asking myself, what's wrong with David that he wants to keep continuing to take this type of treatment from
I don't
someone?
know. My brain can't make it make sense.
I don't think he wants
And
to go to the I don't think he wants to go to the UK. I don't think that is end game for him. And the
the
way he
storytelling is very frustrating.
and the way he cries over her constantly,
Yeah.
it's like someone hurt him. We don't know a lot about David's past. We actually don't know a lot about either of their past.
So, y'all, she's at the hotel because she said she wants to go live in the town of Footloose that outlawed dancing.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I don't want to have a dance with anyone ever.
Ava
And
again.
and David calls and she's hanging up, and then finally she messages him. He comes to the hotel, and then Tionne says, if he continues doing salsa, I will break up with him. I'm over compromising. And I wrote down, ha!
Yeah. God, like
You're over compromising. Sure.
there is just I'm trying to think of a 90-day character that we've had
I don't
where
think there's an analog.
nothing is redeemable because nothing is redeemable about her.
I don't think there's an analog. Even Lita's story had moments where she would be emotional. But
Eric and
remember,
Lita, yeah.
yeah.
No,
But
yeah, that's and you at least well,
you understood
that's what I
Lita.
was about to say. You understood why Lita did that. You understood we even
You don't
Bilal, we
understand Tion.
understand why he
Yeah.
does that. You don't understand her at all. It
And you don't
feels
understand why
very
she's with this guy.
I think
Um,
that's actually the best way I could describe it. This couple feels very, especially on her end, two-dimensional.
yep. And it's really unsatisfying. And anyway, she's like, "Why are you smiling?" The first thing when she goes in there, and he's like, "Well, he smiles when he's uncomfortable because you're mad at him, and he doesn't know what else to
Yes.
fucking do."
Yes.
And anyway, she's like, "Well, I'm not going to do anything unless you give up dancing." He's like, "But I love dancing."
No, no, give it up. Don't you're not respecting my boundaries. And then he says, okay.
Okay, I won't dance. He's like, "Fine,
I
I will
won't
never dance."
dance. Don't ask me. Won't dance.
What is that from?
Mercy beaucoup. My girl hates me, so I'm gonna hate myself too.
What is that from?
Is that not Cole Porter? Is that Irving Berlin? It's like I won't. It's from. I think that movie is from a Fred
Song.
Astaire movie or that song. Yeah, it was Fred Astaire that did it. It was
That
in
sounds right. I can't place it.
uh from the movie Roberta. Yes.
Oh, I've never seen. That's Jerome Kern.
Uh, I love that movie. I haven't seen that movie in a long
What
time.
Roberta?
I
I know
went
the
through a
musical
big. I went through a big Fred Astaire stage when I was in middle school, and I watched. I love Top Hat. That's one of my favorite movies ever.
because it had the word top in it.
No, I just love the. I love the story of it. Putting on my top
Shocker.
hat. Putting on my do. I love Fred Astaire.
Let's move on. So she says he's like, you can't dance with anybody else because you dance with my grandmother, and then she's like, fine, I won't do it either. And then the weird, and
It's
then
weird.
she forgives him for dancing.
He said, "I will
So
give up my passion for salsa and put you first." And I wrote, "I hate this couple."
So the next day, they're up early. She's doing nothing but complaining because she's horrible. And the monument, and I'm like, why aren't you wearing clothes? Oh, I'll tell you why. Because you knew you were gonna get engaged, so you wanted to look cute.
Yeah.
Because there, and then you complain about it being cold. And here's a hint, honey: wear a coat until the photographs come out, and then you
Yeah.
take off your
And then you
coat.
take off the coat. It's like when we were leaving Vegas at 4 in the morning for a cab, there were all these girls trying to take pictures of themselves in the hotel lobby. And like one of them is sitting on the floor eating nachos while the other girl's standing up in the pretty. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you all look like haggard trash. Why are you taking the pictures
at the end of the
Why are you
night.
taking your pose picture at the Wynn looking like bullshit?
Pictures at the beginning. Pictures at the beginning.
Yep.
So, this she keeps saying, or
Well, let's
he
just get to it.
says,
Yeah,
"I'm sorry for everything I've done." Now, as opposed to, I complained about this where when Amanda wrote in her Dear John letter to Razvan,
yeah.
"I'm sorry for everything I done."
She didn't
This
really know what
is
she was talking about. This is different.
this man is basically saying, "I don't know everything
He
I've done wrong, so I might as well just saying I'm sorry for everything I've
he's
ever
done
done."
sorry for breathing and existing, basically is what he's
And
saying.
he starts to cry, and she's like, "Well, you're my girlfriend, you're my soulmate. Would you marry me?" And she goes, "Yeah."
And he gets down and he opens the ring box, and the first thing she says is, "That's not the real ring."
"Where's the real ring?"
And she said, "This one isn't real gold." And he says,
"Oh, you're so cheap.
"It is gold." She said, "No, it's not. No, it's not." He's like, "Yeah, it's real gold."
This isn't the ring we discussed."
She said, "This is an eyesore." And her reason is, "He knows who I am. This is ridiculous. This is a slap in the face to me, disrespectful to me."
And then,
She acts like that really in that first season, that really horrible, overdramatic drag queen from Pose. That's how she acts. That character got better,
wow.
but the first season, that character was very one-dimensional and just
Angelica, the
yes,
mother.
Angelica,
Yeah.
the first season, she got much better, but the first season, she was just so unrelatable and just a
And
bitch.
she was a terrible actor too.
She grew into it.
They got her
Better.
some acting
She got
classes.
better. They got better, yeah.
She did, the flowers were nice, but this is false hope. And then later on, she just says, I'd rather have you not have a ring and saved your money." And I went,
Shit.
"Bullshit."
Bullshit. She would have read him for filth and said, "Well, you can't even buy me the ring. Why would you promote?" Her goal in life is to make him feel like shit.
Yeah, she's a vengeance demon conjured up. What did David's ancestors do?
But at this point, I don't feel sorry for David anymore
I'm the
because he
same.
says, "What is your problem? You're being so mean." She's like, "I'm not being mean. I'm not being mean." He's like, "You don't have to be so mean." And
Have some
she's
self-respect.
like, "What? What, you want me to lie to you?" And then later she says, "I need to make it up to him." And she goes to him and says, "Well, listen, I just want to tell you, I want to make things up to you, and I wasn't prepared. Sorry." And he accepts that shitty fucking apology in 2 seconds. Like,
And that's
magic pussy.
all
What is this? I don't
and
know.
that's all we have of them. I think you said it best. Two-dimensional. There's no What's missing this season, aside from the couple we're going to talk about next, is the feeling that these people are three-dimensional, flawed people, but have good intentions and actually love one another. And when we don't have that, we don't care.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. Either Shane and Mert or Louise and Jose, heart of the
Wow.
season.
Heart of the season.
But do you disagree?
No, because
We kind of
no,
learned the most about Louise and Jose.
here's the other thing. There are To be a success on this show, you have to have some type of unintentionally funny thing about you that's kind of cringe. There's a lot of cringe in Jose and Louise. And there's a lot of cringe with Mert and Shane too, of the way
Yeah.
they talk and the way they should not be together, but they somehow found one
Doesn't make it
another.
up.
The Tionne and David stuff doesn't compute
No.
because she's awful. He's a complete simp with no reason to be with her.
I think
There's
Shane or Katie will read Tionne for fucking
I
filth
hope
at the
so.
tell-all. Let's talk about Shane and Mert.
We're getting leftover. I feel like we were only given 2/3 of this storyline.
I don't
I
think
think
this was
they
fraudacity.
filmed
I think this was just bad storytelling. I agree.
Yeah. I think we got, let's say they filmed 500 hours of footage. Um, and I think they tried to tell an entire storyline with maybe trying to use 3 hours tops.
I think whereas, Rebekah and Cristian had nothing, I think with Shane and Merritt, they had too
Too
much.
much. Yeah,
And
I
honestly, I
agree.
wish they would have just cut out David and Tionne and just showed more Shane and Mert
Agree.
because
Agree.
this was beautiful. I am rooting for them.
So at,
Oh, their
at the
wedding was
stag
so sweet.
at the stag hen do,
The stag hen
stag do,
do.
it did not go well because Mert was shouting and swearing, talking on the phone to his mother, and this is 24 hours earlier. We're talking about the drama between her mother and Mert,
And
which, you
yeah,
guys, we have never
never.
seen anything except kind of acceptance and mom complaining that the house was small.
No, but we
Now,
saw her seeing their new place and hugging Mert and jumping up and down with him and
so
squealing.
it's a failure that we never saw this fight
No, all we have
because
is Shane
remember,
saying, "I know you and Mom have been fighting about this."
if it doesn't happen on camera, it doesn't matter. That's
Mhm.
a very important distinction of this show.
And for Poodle or Piano Cat 77.
Same thing. If it didn't happen on camera,
Then you're not
it
getting paid
never
for it.
happened, and I can't sell it. If I can't sell it, I'm going to sit on it. That's a RuPaul thing. That's a song. If I can't sell it, I'm going to sit on it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
It sounds gross when you say
Anyway,
it.
so the fact we didn't see it, and so we're playing Willy Bingo at the Hindu Johnson Cock.
Johnson, Cox, they're all
And
just drinking and
so
smoking. I love it.
mom pulls up in the car, but then drives away. I feel like this was not mom. I feel like this was a PA.
Oh,
And
see, I feel like it was her.
we never hear the mom's voice unless they're talking to Mert on the phone. And it felt like they were dropping someone off, but we didn't see that drop off.
Unless Mom
So
didn't wanna be on camera, because I will say, talking to the nail parlor, y'all, I think there's a dark side to Mom that we haven't seen.
really, well, she does. I
She's
think
a
she's probably
bitch.
bullish.
She's a
Yeah,
bully and a bitch, and Shane is talking to her very kind, saying, "This upsets me," and she
yeah.
looks at her own daughter and is like, "Well, that's the way I am. It's who I am."
Did
And I was
you
like, "Fuck you, Mom."
and this
Sorry, I'm jumping
idea
ahead, but
of
so that's made me believe that thing.
so Mert is calling the mom and says, "This is an important day. You are mom." And she says, "I'm behind on the decorations for the wedding." But the thing is, yes, it's her. I had one thought that maybe she just thought it wasn't that big of a deal because she thought she may be more fun with her daughter. There were gonna be like racy things there, and so she didn't want that. But at the same time, it seemed like that hurt Shane, that her mother, and so Mert takes up for his fiance. And the weird thing is Shane this is the weird thing. Shane being upset at Mert for being upset at her mother and not letting Mert have his own feelings.
I That's the way I saw it. It's interesting. Shane said before, she's like, "Well, you were screaming on the phone." And I was watching this going, when are we gonna see him screaming and being ridiculous on the phone? Because he's not. Mert, I thought, was very, for the most
Yeah.
part, you could tell he was pissed, but
And he'd been drinking.
we didn't see him screaming at Mom on the phone. We heard
We didn't
him
get the footage.
setting a boundary and saying, "You need to step up and be a mom and be
Mm-hmm.
here for your daughter." We actually saw Shane is the one who got triggered and freaked out. This is what I think. This is what I think my theory is. I think the reason maybe they don't have a lot of this is because Mom didn't agree to it, because I think Mom and Shane have been in a very close codependent relationship.
Yep.
And Mom is at first was all excited, but then she realized, wait, Shane's moving out. I don't see Shane all the time. Mom is much older.
I got to act out.
Mom is jealous. She's
Yep.
jealous, and she's, taking it out on her daughter and Mert.
And I will say one thing to Shane, and Shane says, you shouldn't be mad at my mother. I should." And all I can think of is you can't tell your fiance who loves you how to feel about any of this. Don't minimize that. And
And
if you're
loves your
not,
mother, lived with your
and
mother, spent time
yeah,
with her.
so I that kind of gatekeeping bothered me,
It
but
did,
it
yeah.
really hits at the root of what you're talking about. They are in a codependent relationship, Shane and her mother, and so always Shane thinks she has to defend her mother even when her
Mhm.
mother does shitty
You
things.
hit it. Gatekeeping is a great word to describe what she was doing. That's a good
Yeah.
word.
Yeah. So
Mm,
anyway, he basically says later on, um, he's like, "I'm asking you as my wife, is your wife, make things right with mom." Later on, we're getting our nails done, and mom, Shane, and Grace, and that's when that scene you were talking
yeah,
about. You can go
sorry.
ahead, where she says
She
basically
rubbed
like,
me the
"I
wrong
am hard
way.
to deal with. I am a bitch."
I just think when you're look, we have how poodle. How many times have we had scenes of people getting their nails done before a wedding? Wedding nails.
Wedding nails.
And when Stacy is nicer to Darcy than a mom is to their daughter, that's a
Yeah.
problem.
How about when Debbie and Larissa actually make up at the nail
Oh,
salon?
yes!
I just think more I think more care is taken in the storytelling, than is normally with a US production company than this one.
It just felt Cliff Notes. I said that last
Yeah.
episode.
And so y'all, it is the day before the wedding. They're in the venue. He's not comfortable in the mattress because he's like, "We can't do 5 minutes. We can't fuck."
We can't
5
bump.
minutes. I will say, that's not a very long time, and I can usually get my business done quickly. That means, y'all, he does not play the long game.
Yeah,
He's a
I
1-minute man, probably.
I don't need to know about how long it takes for you to do your business, poodle.
A good, I can be done
Nope.
in
Mm-mm.
a good 20. If I skip the pre-show,
If the
a
car is
good
already
20 to 30 minutes.
if the truck is already going around the track at 57 miles an hour and you can just step out
Yeah,
into
the
it,
57 Chevy, yeah, hits me the right way. 15 minutes. If I skip the pleasantries and the cool down. Yeah.
oh, if you could see my face when he said
and
cool
the
down.
and then when I pull into
No,
the
mm-mm.
pit crew and they go "Woof, woof, 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 woof," they take my wheels off.
That means the butt plug in.
Eh, eh, eh.
Sir, we got a problem. She's gaping.
She's back on the road. She's playing another round. Oh my god.
There goes Poods.
He's lapping her. Anyway, wow. So on wedding day, he calls his mom, and this is really sweet. "I wish I was there." The dad says, "We wish you all the
His family
blessings.
is so supportive of
May
him.
God bring you
Oh,
happiness." And I think it does feel so rushed that we don't really have time to kind of sit with this. And usually, cast members talk about their feelings a little bit more. And I think we just had so much plot to get in.
can you
Um,
actually also the show did it. You actually glossed over something else. I don't know if you caught it. I'll be interested to see if you caught this or not because it was so quick. We see after the party and all that kind of comes down, and after Shane talks to her mom, Nell, she talks to Mert and says, Mert's like, "I'm missing my family," and she says, "Yeah, I just want you to have a time where you talk to my mom and you two work it out." Or maybe that was she said that before that, and then she talks to her mom. We never see them work it out.
no, we
So
didn't.
they bring up plot points of setting in 90 Day America. They're going to set up them meeting and talking.
Yeah.
We never got that. We just see wedding day.
Yeah. Agree.
So to me, tells me either they wasn't anything interesting enough or mom refused to do it.
Possibly, because Mom even said, "Why can't we just get along and say we get along with each
So we
other?"
see what Mom says. She's there. How British of you! Just push it down.
Yeah. So later on, y'all, he sees it's the wedding. He sees her walking down the aisle. Now, I will say,
Oh.
the suit could fit better on him, but he looks cute.
He puts
It's a
his
suit,
arms out. He's giggling. It's so cute.
and she looks great in the dress. The
Gorgeous.
makeup is on point.
Gorgeous. Her
The
hair looks
wedding, yeah,
beautiful.
it they are, but Mom and Mert seem cordial to one another.
I gotta say,
So
Mom's dress was stunning on her. She looked
the
beautiful.
kind of teal thing. I also forgot that Mert's name was Bilal, his given
Oh
name,
yeah. What's this one? Yeah.
and I went, "Ugh."
Not the same poodle. Don't
It's like
worry.
someone whispered across my grave. Anyway, but they have to use the vows of two men, which I that was shocking. They're like, and Shane said, "Yeah, we told them, but they said they can't change it." So I guess they have to read. It's a we forget that the UK can be a very conservative country with some of its
Yeah.
rules.
Mhm.
So anyway, and they're like, she said, "You make me the happiest person." And Shane says, "My whole life I've just wanted to be happy, and I just wanted not someone who didn't want to change me." And
And also,
I love them.
I love them. Also,
Part of the show.
I agree. Shane says something. I think she said that I used to feel I don't deserve this, but I do deserve this. And she brought, like you said, I wanted someone to accept me, but I think this is so important in your relationship too. She said I wanted someone to accept me, but also someone to show me off. Basically, if someone to be
Mhm.
someone who is, and this is a really important thing in queer relationships. Is you want, or I think any real, but you want someone who is proud to be with you and can do that in
I
public.
That is very important. Yeah. I totally agree. It's
Oh,
like yeah, it was beautiful.
God, I
I
hope
loved
they're
their
able to
story.
survive the relationship when Mert wants to be poly, because I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope they do.
That's the show.
That's
That's
the
the
show.
season.
That's the season.
Boy, you're really bitter.
No, I'm just saying. I just got to see it.
Wow.
Anyway, I would say that about you. If you got married, I'm like, well, I hope that guy can handle it when Poodle says he wants to be in an open relationship every night.
Well, he doesn't have to be in one, but I need to be in one.
Go to realitygaze.com, everybody. That's where you can find us. Follow us on social media, Reality Gaze Podcast, Reality Gaze on Twitter or X, whatever the fuck it's called.
X.
I want to get off of it, but nobody does Threads, even though we're on that too.
I know.
And then where else? Oh, Reality Gaze on the TikTok. Find us there. And yeah, tune in. We're going to be covering The Golden Bachelor. We're very excited about that. A lot of stuff coming up for the next few months for your listening pleasure. And if you like that, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave 5 stars. What do they write, Poods?
You can write "Keep Going Queens."
Sure can. Put a KGQ. All right, everybody. We call these lads and lassies across the pond lonely lads and lassies, Poods. And if you're lonely,
Where's this going?
I don't know. Lonely lad and lassie across the pond looking for some love in all the wrong pubs and shanties
And boozers.
and boozers. Just finish it.
You can say to your husband, "Nigel,
Oh, I
can
forgot
you
about
please meet Chauncey tonight? I'm going to listen to McGay's."
You're a Nigel's wife.
You're a Nigel's wife.
You can call us.
You can give us a ring.